Today's Sunshine Note is titled, Thorns. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and they twisted together a crown of thorns, and set it on his head. Matthew chapter 27, verses 28 and 29. When I felt the leash go taut, then limp, I knew something was terribly wrong. I turned around immediately and saw the empty end dangling in the grass, and my terrified cat scampering away at high speed. We were moving from Seattle to Michigan, and someone had talked me into a cat leash for the long trip, which had barely worked for 30 seconds there at the rest stop before Charlie scrambled out of it. I chased him to the edge of a blackberry thicket, but it was too late. He was already yards away, deep inside the thorns. Knowing I had lost my precious cat, I sat down to cry as Greg ran over to me. I thought he would comfort me, but instead he did something else. Parting the largest thorn branches, he bent down and began crawling through the tangles after my cat. Anyone who knows Greg knows that he's not particularly fond of the cat, but he knew that I was, and Greg is particularly fond of me. I could hear the thorns tearing at his clothes and ripping his skin, but he pressed on. When he reached Charlie, he had to reach around both sides of a giant thorny branch to pull him out. Then he returned through the thorns to me. He was torn and bleeding from head to toe. Thorns were stuck in his shirt, arms, shoes, and hair, but he had Charlie. He held my cat out to me with a loving smile, and I knew that he had done this just for me. Greg is not the only one who willingly chose the thorns for me. Jesus did too, for me, you, and for all of us. They didn't come as a surprise to him. He knew they would be part of the deal. He knew about the punches and the trials, the whip with shards of glass on its tip ripping through the flesh on his back. He knew his beard would be torn off his face, and his wrist would have nails pounded straight into the largest nerve in his arm. He knew about the anguish of separation from his father, and he still came anyway, purely out of love for us. When he was on the tree, all his thoughts were of you and me. You're worth so much to this man that he died to make you free. May God bless you today.